Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the build-up show for the biggest game of the season so far. It is Arsenal at the Emirates versus Manchester United. It is the clash of the Titans, red versus red. In the south, in London, we are here in the north to bring you the build-up show, and we are hoping that Manchester United can do the business today and win at this game. It's a super important one. I'm really excited for it. Some would say nervous. There is a few nerves, but we're excited and we're confident. Get in the chat what you think. Make sure to get your comments in. We've got some breaking news coming out as we're going live. But while I get that up, Faz, welcome to the build-up show. Get everyone pumped up for the game.
Listen, 11v11 today. Marcus Rashford versus Ben White. You know, Anthony versus Zinchenko. You have to believe in this team. As a fan, I know it can seem daunting, but think what Erik ten Hag is going to be saying to the boys. Think what the boys are going to be thinking in the changing room. They are wanting to go on there to fight and win. You never want your team to go on a pitch thinking like they can just come out with a point, right? You want them to win every game. And today, we want to correct what went wrong last season, losing 3-2. We want to make sure we go toe-to-toe, and maybe it might mean a scrappy goal. Maybe it might mean just holding out and countering them, but let's go and fight. That's the most important thing.
Yes. Guys, we just started the show, but good for us. The team leaks are literally already out there. I've got Arsenal's full team in front of me. There's some news coming out. Martial was in the United lineup. Let me take you through the United lineup. So it is Onana in goal, Wan-Bissaka right back, Lindelof and Martinez as the centre-backs, Dalot at left back, Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno in the midfield, and then the front three is Rashford, Martial and Anthony. But it's coming out here and there isn't a source attached to it. But we have had a tweet out saying that Anthony Martial pulled up an injury during the warm-up, but we're not sure if this is true because there is no source attached to it. So we'll have to wait.
And the players probably haven't started warm-up yet. We'll
have to wait for the developments on that. It's a very easy thing to try and bait. You know, Martial's got injured in the warm-up. That's happened a few times, but no one of... I've not seen anyone report this. It's literally just a tweet. So, from what we know, the starting 11 is what it was last game against Forest, with Lindelof coming in as a centre-back. Apart from that, it's unchanged. You've got the same front three. You've got the same midfield. Thank God he's not moved Bruno out onto the right. But what I will bring you as well, and this is obviously just a leak, so it might not be 100% accurate, but it's coming out that the full Arsenal 11 is... He's reverted back, Arteta. It's Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice, Odegaard, Havertz, Saka, Martinelli and Eddie Nketiah. So Jesus will be on the bench. Yes.
Yeah, that's a very strong team.
It's a very strong team. I thought he would have started Jesus. I thought he might have stuck with that system even though Partey's out of it, because usually you don't change your system just because one player get injured. You usually have backups there. You have a plan. But Partey's injured, and I did tweet this out yesterday. I said I actually think it's a little bit of annoyance to us that he's injured, because that means Arteta reverts back to the system that was working brilliantly for them last season.
That's right.
And the new system that they'd put in place looked a little bit shaky. So I was hoping they'd continue with that. So it is annoying, but you know what? It is what it is, and Man United still have to go out there and put on a show. And I just want them to leave everything on the pitch today.
Yeah, I think the most importantly, the weakest link in Arsenal will be Kai Havertz. He's not settled into the team at all. You know, I'm expecting Manchester United to, and the players in the midfield, to kind of use that to their advantage. You know, maybe intercepting the ball quickly off him, because you're not going to do that from Odegaard and Rice as well. It's not possible. And the other one is Zinchenko. Is he going to be 100% in match flow as well? And Ramsdale has errors in him, you know. So I'm expecting Ramsdale hopefully make some sort of an error, and we get a cheeky goal. But those are the three players that I'd say I'm looking out for from a weak standpoint, you know. But Zinchenko is still a fantastic player, and he might have a fantastic game. But Eddie Nketiah starting is concerning to me, because
underrated. I think
very handful. He is. Lindelof and Martinez have a job on their hands today.
They do. Zayn Miassi. Zayn, I absolutely love it. Member for 15 months. Thank you for being a member, Zayn. 4-1 to Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners, he says.
4-1. What has he said? Is that what he said?
That's it he says. Take your picture. Clip it up.
Yeah,
Zayn
that's what I
says
do.
4-1.
That's what I do.
Get it in your spreadsheet, Faz.
Yes, that's what I do.
If anyone doesn't know, Faz has got a spreadsheet that he's going to come back to at the end of the season. He's remembering everything. And Zayn Miassi, look, thank you for your super chat, but I'm confident with United. That is a strong team, though. That is a strong team. And get in the comments down below, by the way, guys. Get your chats in. What do you think of Man United's team? You can see it there, the graphics on screen for you. What do you think of it? Like, what do you think of that team? You can see it just there. Are you like it? Are you happy Dalot starting at left back? I'll come to you, Faz. First of all, we'll talk about the Arsenal team in a second, because I actually think Ben White, even though I would have preferred it to be Partey, is someone that Rashford can get at down that left-hand side, and I am glad he's starting on the left. And we'll talk about the fact, Hojlund will be on the bench in his debut, but I want to talk to you firstly about he's gone with Dalot. I was worried he was going to put Reguilon straight in, but he's stuck with Dalot. Are you happy with that decision?
Yes, because Reguilon would have only just trained one day with Manchester United, and Reguilon hasn't even been in a starting 11 all this season. The first few games, he's not even been in the squad. So I don't expect Erik ten Hag to be using him straight away in such a big game. Whereas Diogo Dalot has already done a job, last game, and he's obviously in the pecking order right now. Will be further up than Reguilon, because Reguilon would need time to gel with the team, with the system, Erik ten Hag, blah blah blah. So I'm not unhappy. Most importantly, what Dalot will need to consider is making sure that he's communicating with Rashford, because it's a very lonely job, that left-sided position. Whereas the right side, you have Anthony, you have Wan-Bissaka, they're working in sync, they're helping each other defending. Whereas on the left-hand side, with Rashford, even if, let's say, Garnacho comes in the second half or whoever, it can be very isolating. We saw, a couple of games ago, Garnacho with Luke Shaw, and we conceding the goal. Dalot has to make sure he's really, really concentrating today. That's the most, because he's good at going forward, which is really good. But if Saka is free and Dalot's obviously not as pacey as Saka, he's going to feel the heat today. So he needs to concentrate a lot. Especially
considering with the old system, which is, if you watched our preview show with the Arsenal fan Rory Talks Football, it was really interesting to get an Arsenal fan's opinion, and I thought he brought up a brilliant point that I've been thinking about. In the new system that he's been playing, which obviously he's reverted back to the usual back four today, Gabriel's come back in, which I think makes him stronger. But, they didn't have Partey wasn't overlapping with Salah. He was more going inverted into the midfield a little bit.
With Saka, yeah.
Yeah, whereas Ben White, what he does is he overloads. Yeah. He gets on the overlapping run. So if Dalot's on his own, he's trying to mark Saka, who is one of the best right wingers in the world. Let's put it bluntly, he is. And he's not even his usual position. And then he's got Ben White to worry about coming on the overload. So Rashford is going to have to track back. But then again, Erik ten Hag's going to want to use him on the counter-attack, and he's going to want him to be hanging on to the last man. So it's a really difficult judgment, and the players are going to have to be really intelligent today to deal with it.
But this is where Rashford has to come in and help out. He has to be a bit unselfish, and we know he wants to, whether he wants to reserve his energy or whatever it is, or be that extra player on the wing for on the counter, which I understand. But at times he will have to get physical, and so many other teams, they double up on our players. Maybe even one of the midfield players, one or two players have to sacrifice coming back to try and make sure that Saka and Ben White are being marked. And I can almost imagine, and I hope, fingers crossed it doesn't happen, God forbid, but I can almost imagine Ben White overlapping and him putting a ball in, low and hard, and Eddie Nketiah tapping in. I can already envision it.
Yeah, well, let's hope that Ten Hag knows that and the players are drilled and we don't have to see that happen, but it is something to worry about. Justin Whiskey, a member for 20 months, loving this new setup in the studio from the pre-match videos. Great work, Beth and Faz.
Thank you.
And the entire team. Thank you very much for that. Interesting stuff, Faz. It is kind of being confirmed here. We've brought this to you on the United stand. The subs are Bayindir, Maguire, Hojlund, Reguilon, Garnacho, Evans, Gore and Hannibal. So I'm starting to think, where's Pellistri? Where's Sancho? And where's McTominay? There was reports last night that McTominay and Sancho weren't in the travelling squad. We thought they might meet them down there. Not on the bench. For me, putting it out there, Ten Hag isn't happy for some reason, unless we get rumours of an injury. But I know Pellistri travelled, so I'm interested to know why he's not on the bench, unless that is some sort of typo. I'll get it confirmed to you. And with Sancho and McTominay, maybe Ten Hag's annoyed he didn't take the last-minute Fulham move because he doesn't want to use him. Maybe Ten Hag, something's happened behind the scenes with Sancho that we don't know about. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't want to overreact because it's not official. But I'm not happy with Maguire and Johnny Evans being on the bench. It's absolutely I'm really feeling hot. I'm getting angry. Like, I want to swear. What the hell are we doing? What the hell are we doing? I hope that's not official. I really hope. What the hell are we doing? How are we gone? Our bench has gone worse from last season.
Well, if we can get word on whether that is...
I mean, absolutely fantastic on Dango and Hannibal. Really good for them. But where the hell is Pelistri? Oh my goodness,
I feel
this
like
club.
Pelistri will be in there. It
has to be. It has to be. I really like.
Well,
why is Johnny Evans on the bench?
That's what we're getting at the moment. That's what we're getting at the moment.
What are you? Oh my God, I don't want to think about this.
People are asking, what is the lineup? It is on your screen for you guys. The lineup's on your screen, literally up
Unless
there.
they're not watching and they're just listening.
If they're listening, it's Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez, Dalot, Casemiro, Bruno, Eriksen, Rashford, Martial and Anthony. That is the lineup. But Faz, Hojlund's on the bench. That is something to get excited about. Rashford scored on his debut against Arsenal. Anthony scored his debut against Arsenal. Can Hojlund add to the running tradition? Yeah,
I really hope so. On the way to the studio, I was listening to the little interview that he did as well. And, you know, he was like, look, the interview asked him, is this going to be a project? Do you think you're going to hit the ground running? And I absolutely do not expect him to hit the ground running. I don't. A goal would be fantastic. But make no mistake, a goal doesn't instantly give me an expectation of 15, 16 goals in a season. I'm still going to say 10 is, you know, I think 10 goal maximum. I'd be very happy with him. What's more important for me is once he comes in, because he's a different type of player to Martial. He's not the same type of player as Martial, which is a good thing. Sorry, go on. You're going to say something?
There's more rumours that Martial is injured. And if he is, then that's just an absolute joke.
I am going to fling this thing at the camp.
Go on.
Yes. Martial starts.
Okay, well, the official warm-up is Martial starts and the warm-up hasn't begun, we're being told. Yeah. I'm just seeing a lot of things come out. So we'll go off what we know. From what we know, Martial starts. But if he doesn't, Faz's going to get annoyed. He's going to get annoyed.
I just want one simple day of Manchester United and I can't fucking get it. I'm sorry.
Don't swear.
I'm sorry. I just want one simple day. Just one easy, simple day where we go to a game. It's too much. It's not good for my blood pressure, this.
Well, Faz. Anyway, Hojlund is starting. No, not starting. Hojlund is on the bench, everyone, so we will get to see him today, which is going to be exciting. How many minutes do you reckon Hojlund will get?
I think he'll get about 20 minutes.
I can only get 30.
20 minutes.
Depending on what we're
But like I was saying before all of this, I'm excited to see the type of football we play once he's on the pitch. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Are we going to be able to cross the ball to him? The running behind, him holding up the ball in the central position, you know, dragging defenders with him, maybe even aerial threat from set pieces, all these little things some things that Martial doesn't give us that we'll be able to see from him. Strength as well, you know, being able to hold off defenders whilst the wingers are making the run. Yeah, but you know, all of this would be good if I think Pelistri was on the bench as well. I would have liked to see Hojlund and Pelistri together because obviously Pelistri is able to cross the ball in and maybe Rasmus could get a tap in that way. But yeah,
it's a big game to come into, but you know this is why we bought him. So you've got to be able to turn up for these games no matter what. I know he's young, but you've got to be able to turn up. Kieran Norton-Taylor, member 13 months, nervous as hell about an injury at the back. Definitely rather have Evans come on than Maguire if it comes to it. This is where we're at, everyone. This is where we're at. We really, really hope that Lindelof and Martinez can keep it together.
I have faith in them,
or else it looks worrying. But Faz,
I have faith in them.
It's time to do our plays to watch. And in case you forgot, I've got yours here.
I did forget.
Did you forget them?
Yeah.
So we're going to do our players to watch for United first. So we have to.
Pelistri.
Okay, you can say it because you love him, and I love him too.
Facundo Pelistri is on the bench.
He is on the bench. So the bench that we read out before.
And Johnny Evans is in. Probably.
It is that bench with Pelistri. Probably. I knew there was one missing from there. So Pelistri is on the bench, but Sancho and McTominay are not.
Concerning.
But Faz, your two players to watch for Manchester United. Your first one was Anthony.
Yes. Explain.
He
has a lot to prove this season. He scored against Arsenal. He owns Arsenal, and
he owns Arsenal.
And he scores in big games. You know, it's like certain goals he scores in knockout stages against City as well in their ground. He scores some big goals, and I think he's got a big goal in him this particular game. I'm still doubling. Please just stop doing these reactions.
Sorry.
Please.
Sorry, everyone.
My heart is sinking through my body.
Whoever is lying about the Martial injury. get off Twitter and stop scaring people, because Man United have just put out the official lineup right now, and it's Martial's in it. Martial's in the starting 11.
So why are they lying?
So why are people lying, saying Martial's injured? Martial
Unless
is...
it's the Everton situation like last season.
Martial is in the starting 11 for today's game. Official starting 11 was exactly the same as we reported, because we are excellent, giving ourselves a pat on the back there. But the official starting 11 is Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez, Dalot, Casemiro, Eriksen, Antony, Bruno, Rashford and Martial. So he does start. Carry on with Antony, Faz.
Whoever's putting that news out that Martial is injured...
Very weird stuff putting that out there, but anyway.
Like, you are a disgrace. You're an absolute idiot. That's what you are. And stop being an idiot. Why would you put that out?
Our admin knew, though. He was telling him in my ear.
Thank you, admin.
He knew it was rubbish.
I was going to turn into Hulk. I was just getting so angry. Yeah, anyways, where were we? Lindelof and...
So, well, we've not told everyone
you're
but Anthony's your first place to watch.
He has like I said, it's just simple. It's a big game. He has to turn up. In this season particularly, it's his second season. He's still very young, but I'm holding him to high standards, especially because Ten Hag loves him so much. So I don't know what he's planning with him, what he sees in training. Obviously, I don't see. But like I say, I'm expecting things from him today. I at least want something like an assist or a goal. At least numbers on the board is what I say is important for wingers. So yeah,
I want to see something from Antony today. He got a lot of praise last game, improved, but I feel like he's got to take it up another level. He's got to take it up. And
him against Zinchenko, so it's a good matchup.
And I don't think Zinchenko is that good. I'm going to be honest. I only put him in my combined 11 because there was no other option, and I was generally debating putting Dalot in there. Zinchenko, I think he's a decent player. I think he's overrated. I think Antony can get at him. I also think Rashford can get at Ben White. So, you know, again, I want to see something from Antony. I like that pick. And your second pick was?
Dalot?
No, Lindelof.
Lindelof.
Your second pick was Lindelof.
Yeah.
You said it before.
It's been a while. Isn't it?
Why it was Lindelof?
Okay, I'll tell you why. This man was planning to leave Manchester United. He said during international break last season that I will decide on my career, what happens. I want to play minutes. And... you know, he's probably sat down with his people, his representatives, and his representatives have probably told him that, you know what, you are going to play minutes, because probability of Varane playing all those games in a season, including Champions League games as well, is going to be low. Let's be very honest. So,
You're right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I love Varane, but yeah. So that's why I think you should stay, and I think he's ended up staying. And the thing is, he's built so much confidence from the latter stages of last season. It's only right for him to carry that on and play into the Champions League games and the big games that we're going to be playing. Like, he's starting today. So the good thing is, all this thing about him backing off, him not being that good when it comes to certain aerial threats and maybe, you know, 1v1 on the ball, whatever it is, he's looked into it. He's done well last season towards the end, and now it's to build on that. And he's got a great partner next to him, which is, you know, Martinez. And he's got a great goalkeeper behind him.
Yeah.
And he's got a great right back next to him. So he's got he's got a world-class DM in front of him. So he's got that support system. It's not Maguire, you know. It's not McTominay and Fred. It's not David De Gea. He's got top-class players around him for him to do well. So, yeah, Lindelof, big things.
I think when we used to have that back four, and, you know, it was Lindelof and Maguire in the middle of the park, I remember saying it, you know, Gary Neville said they'll never win anything with them two as centre-backs, and we had McFred in front of them. I actually think Lindelof was the gem to come out of that. McFred aren't good enough, Maguire's definitely not good enough, but Lindelof got a hard time of it, and I actually think he's a very good defender, and I think he's proved that over the past year. I've always thought it, to be honest with you, but I think he's actually improved further under Ten Hag. Yeah. He's become a lot stronger, and he's quicker than what people give him credit for. And with Lindelof as well, like when Varane got injured, I was gutted because I thought, oh, this means Maguire gets close to the first team. But I'm not worried starting 11 basis, because I know Lindelof can come in and do a good job.
And did I not say this on the forum?
No, you did.
When I was wearing that blue shirt or something and people went crazy, I said, you don't want to wait until a player gets injured to swap. You want to be able to have, you know, players who are at similar level that you can, okay, Varane and Lindelof might not be at exact level, but the drop in level is not that much. And the funny thing is, the players that you mentioned, McFred, Maguire, all of these, so many players have been dumped from that starting 11, but Lindelof still stands. And I don't necessarily think he's improved. I just think he was always this player, but it was confidence that was lacking.
Yes, I agree. Known to man, thank you for your super chat there. Lone Ranger, is this midfield playing 90 or do you guys see Hannibal coming on? Very good question. Obviously, no McTominay on the bench. That's suspicious, I have to say.
Very.
I think it's because he rejected the Fulham move, but you would have wanted McTominay there to come on in a game like this. But I do see either Dango or Hannibal coming on because I don't see Eriksen going the 90, do you?
No, I don't see Eriksen going the 90. I mean,
So
he did last season,
opportunity.
early on in last season, and we know he can. But again, it's the intensity and dealing with Rice and Odegaard and Havertz. I don't see Havertz as a threat, but I think it would be better to play Hannibal or Dango. I would like to see Dango. Dango is a top-class player.
He is.
I actually got to meet him yesterday.
He's destined. Oh, that's you and your youth team.
Yep.
You and your youth team. No, Dangar's destined for good things. He looks really good. Ten Hag clearly likes him. Thank you for your super chat, Espenzar there. And it's a massive game for them to go into, but Ten Hag literally has no other options because we didn't sign Amrabat in time. These are the minor details that can cost you points to start the season. You get Amrabat done literally a day before. I don't know how match fit he is, to be fair. But you get Amrabat done when we were supposed to get him done. That can be the difference between 0 to 3 points. Generally, that sort of player in a game like this today. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes back to bite us. A lot of people asking for score predictions. We're definitely going to get onto them soon. And as well, a lot of people saying Hojlund hotter than the sun in the chat. It's hotter than the sun outside.
It is very warm today in Manchester.
And I think the scoreline is going to be hotter than the sun as well. I think it's good. I think United will win, but I think there'll be goals. But Sean Thornton says Rice is the only holding for Arsenal. Can we exploit that the way Casemiro was when he was holding on his own? That is definitely a good question. I hope we can. I actually think there's been a lot of people online saying doing these combined 11s and putting Rice in over Casemiro a bit unfairly. Rice is a great player, but he's had quite a lot of protection, start the season. And Casemiro's been on his own. Yes, there's question marks, getting dribbled past, but the goal threat Casemiro brings with him, Rice doesn't bring.
Considering how many suspensions he's had as well.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, but it slipped out of my mind.
Sorry.
Actually, it's okay.
That was hilarious. Mehdi Norani just put a super chat in. Remember that guy who said about? I think it's the same one who was like, it just got deleted by one of the mods. That super chat, it was about Arsenal. When they said they'd take us out on a date after the Arsenal game. It's just been deleted, but he was saying, check your DMs, good job, mentally sane, and all this. So, we'll see.
I just actually remember, what, is it for me to take me out on a date?
Yeah, we'll send you, yeah.
Okay. No, I just remembered, this thing that you mentioned about Amrabat coming in, on the deadline day. This is actually so important, and we are not talking about it enough because we have the player now and people are excited. But the club have almost set up Ten Hag for failure. They have, because that's the #1 player that we needed, held up till June, and it just few hours before, if we could do that deal a couple of hours before, literally we could have, and sorted out the paperwork, he could have been playing today. And it doesn't matter if he doesn't start, at least he's on the bench and he could be at least utilised for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I'm sure he's a professional athlete, he can play 30, 40 minutes. But the club set up Erik ten Hag for failure there. And I will just set the record straight.
And it's very good of you to bring it up because you are 100% right on that. Ronald Tutil says, with our away record at Arsenal, not won in the last 5. So in the real world, Arsenal +4. Ronald, don't do this to me. We want to be positive. But we actually have got some stats to bring in for you. But an update from the club. Questions surrounding Sancho and McTominay will probably be answered in the pre-match interviews, they say. So interesting to see whether it gets blamed on an illness, whether it gets blamed on an injury. But no way both of them players got injured this close, especially with the transfer window. So we'll see what Ten Hag says about that. Meanie 19.
I think it's a way of punish. I don't want to say the word punish, but it's a repercussion for the players not moving.
Yeah, when Ten Hag probably didn't want him to be part of the squad.
Yeah, and also this is a stubborn and ruthless way of Eric saying, I don't want them. I think he would want Sancho. I think he would be happy to move him on, but I think Sancho might be something a little bit different. Maybe there was a move that we didn't know about that maybe fell through and his head's not right. But with McTominay, it's obvious Ten Hag doesn't want him. But what about Donny van de Beek? That's another player.
Well, he's completely out the squad as well.
Like, Erik ten Hag has literally been as ruthless as he can be, and he's using Johnny Evans. He's not going to say it in
press conferences because that's not his style, but he'll tell you by not including him in the squad.
He's using Johnny Evans, Maguire, and 2 academy players over
I tell you now,
3 first-team players.
the only reason Maguire's in that squad is because Varane's injured. If Varane wasn't injured, it would be Lindelof on the bench with Johnny Evans. Maguire wouldn't be in the squad. Mini19 says, I like both defenders. Lindelof is better than Varane at this point. Interesting. Ricky would agree. Addy says, what do you guys think of Bruno, Amrabat and Casemiro double pivot in the midfield? I mean, we would love that, wouldn't we? Especially in games like this. But the show is getting away with us, and we've got so much left to do. But Bruno, Amrabat and Casemiro would be strong on away days, wouldn't it?
It would be, yes. I would take that.
But, everyone, I have actually got a couple things to bring in before I go on to my players to watch. Last 10 games against Arsenal.
Home and away?
This is home and away.
Okay.
Last 10 games in the league or in the cup, home and away. We have won 3, drawn 2 and lost 5.
Yeah.
So it's not a great record.
No.
And then the last 3 away games at the Emirates, 3 Premier League away games at the Emirates.
Yeah.
We have 1-0. Drawn 1 and lost 2. So this is the time to change the record, because this isn't looking good. But we can change it today. And, you know, we had that record away from home for so long of keeping winning and being unbeaten, and then we've been terrible away since, you know, Erik ten Hag came in. That's something he needs to work on. So things can change, and this could be the change of the tide. Whoever wins this, it could go on to kickstart the season. It's a massive, massive game.
It's almost, you know, if Arsenal don't win today, their title charge hopes is getting absolutely massively dented. Because, you know, these are the type of games you expect them to at least come away with a point. That's bare minimum. And they're really, you know, they're expected to win from the bookies, from the fans, everyone. Whereas in Manchester United's perspective, we're expected to win this so that we can justify some of the transactions we've made, even though they're not starting. Or it's almost like just a job security for Ten Hag, because there's been slight question marks about his job and his style of play, and people are not seeing it. So, and obviously the top 4 thing, can he come top 4 considering some of the other teams and the transactions they've made? So it's different expectations, but both teams are expected to win because of those expectations.
Exactly. I'm with you on that one. Enjoy Wrighton says, hi Beth, how are you today? Ange to United. It's already starting. Ange is coming to Spurs and he's doing a very good job so far, but I'm sticking with Ten Hag.
What about me?
And
I am okay. Thank you very much for asking.
And yeah, so I'm happy. I'm happy with Ten Hag. There's things that he can do better for sure, but I'm good. I'm slightly nervous, but I think we should go in there hoping for the best and get behind our players. Kofi Azante and Song says, oh, well, thank you for your super chats. I'm calming, apparently. Well,
you
yeah.
are calming.
Yes,
yeah, that's because they only see you for an hour.
And
we have to deal with you for 5-6 hours of the day. And
apart from deadline day, they got 5 hours then. Gander Rain says, hi Beth, you look lovely today. Thank you very much for that chat. And
where's my bots? Where's my AI?
Admin says, just be patient, Faz. You'll get someone asking about you at some point. Oh, Faz, it's all right. It's all right. We'll be sending you out on that day. It's all good. You can get your attention then. But
15 minutes left now.
Yeah, I've got to say my players to watch quickly. Well, my players to watch, first one is Rashford. And the reason I went with Rashford, I'll get through mine quite quickly, is because, well, I was thinking when I picked this against Partey, I think he can have a really good time. He's not, you know, an out-and-out right-back, but now Partey's injured. Ben White is a little bit more difficult. I think Ben White had a very good season last year. But Rashford is notoriously known for being very good up against Ben White.
Yeah.
So I think on the left, especially after getting, I know it was getting the penalty doesn't really class as an assist, but it does on FPL, so we'll take it. Getting 2 assists and being involved in all of the goals at home, I think he's definitely someone to watch, and obviously scored last time out at the Emirates as well. So I'm hoping for some good stuff from Rashford today. And my second player to watch was Diogo Dalot, and I went with Dalot because I thought his game went under the radar against Forest. We give him credit on the forum, but I think he went under the radar. I think that's the reason why the midfield looked better, because he was coming inverted and helping Casemiro out. He was pressing well, you know, getting hold of loose balls in midfield, aerial battles. And it's going to be a very, very tough test against Saka. There is no doubt about it. So Dalot for me today, if he comes through this game, it would be brilliant for him. So Dalot's definitely one to watch for me. And Mark says, hi Faz, looking sharp bro, hope you're all good. And Cool Collectible says, Trimmy's looking good Faz, got to give my boy some love too. We love the Faz love. We love the Faz love.
I'm blushing.
Ali Jaber says, here is for you, Faz. You are awesome.
Oh, thank you.
We all love you. We
Thank
all
you.
love you.
I'm so needy, Anna.
You are.
Very
you like
needy.
your attention,
Soft
but
boy
that's
inside.
okay. That's okay. But we have got 14 minutes till we hand over to Mark to do his watch along. So I've named my players to watch. You've named
I
your
wanted to
plays
ask you a
watch.
question.
Go on.
Ramsdale has made errors this season already.
Yeah.
Onana has had a couple shaky
Question marks.
situations.
Yeah.
Who do you think comes out on top today? Who do you think will have to probably make the better saves and without the bias?
Onana.
Okay.
And I go with Onana because I think Ramsdale's a decent keeper, but I've never thought he's as good as what's being made out. And I agree with a lot of people saying everyone knows how much I wanted David Raya. We went for a phase. Me and Raya went for a phase on the United stand where I wanted him. If Raya was their first choice keeper, which I believe he eventually will be this season, if Arteta has the confidence, should I say, to put him in. If Raya was their first choice keeper, there'd be a conversation to be had, I think. Raya's very good. Onana, yes, he could have done better on that first Forest goal, and there was question marks at the Wolves game. Could it have been a penalty? But overall, if you said to me, who would you rather be your keeper? I am not even blinking when I say Onana. I think he's much better. And I think Ramsdale has got too many mistakes in him. And I actually don't think his distribution is good as what people make out. What about you?
I don't think Ramsdale, I don't rate Ramsdale at all. I think Onana is a much better keeper, but the errors, every keeper has an error in them, and I just hope Onana can. He doesn't give away an odd penalty, but from coming out the line, maybe scooping the ball from a corner kick or something, or a free kick. Just so, like I say, extreme concentration is needed, and Rashford just needs to run it back against Ramsdale, what he did last season. Sending Partey to the shops and thundering the ball past Ramsdale. So yeah.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. I Love You For Real says, thank you very much for your chats. Thank you very much for your chat there with getting your chat in, your super chat. Thank you for that. Over 10,000 in the room. Thank you everyone for watching.
Can we get a poll?
Game.
Can we get a poll,
Yeah, let's
please?
get a poll going.
Can
What
we
poll
get
do
a
you
poll? The producers are sat inside chit-chatting. I can hear them. Can we get a poll, please, guys? What should we put? Nervous? Or
No, we'll do a score prediction because we're going to give ours now.
Manchester United win, draw, or Arsenal win?
Yeah, so Arsenal win, Man United win, or a draw. We'll get that poll going because we're about to give ours. And get yours down in the chat as well. Super chat from Preethi Rana. Thank you very much for that. So, Faz, give me your score prediction first.
2-1 Manchester United. Rashford will
Stole my
score.
score prediction.
Anthony will score. If Anthony doesn't score, Anthony will assist Rasmus to score. I'm really... Yeah. Also because our front line hasn't scored a goal yet.
Yeah, I know it's bad.
Which is a bit concerning for me. So yeah, that's what I'm going for. I think for them, I don't know why. I don't think Saka will score. I don't. I think it'll be...
Martinelli.
Yeah, I think it'll be Martinelli. I want to think that not that I want to think, but I feel like Kai Havertz has this pressure building up on him like we have with Mount, and he needs to get a goal for this pressure to come off his shoulders and be like, right, I've arrived. So I think it's going to be a bit interesting to watch Kai Havertz, but I don't know why Martinelli, he loves to do the knee slide, doesn't he? So I think he might end up getting a goal.
Well, as you can see there on our screen, thank you to OneFootball for supporting our match stats that are going to be coming through. Also, with the lineups there coming through as well. Well, we've had the lineups for a while, but official ones on there. But the poll is already getting off the mark. I went with 2-1 as well, and I'm not going to change it because I always predict a United win. I never will be that person that doesn't predict a United win. We had that little banter on the forum saying, would you take a draw now? And, I don't have a brain. If everyone's seen the clip, it's funny. Yeah. We'll get more of that later on.
Oh, stop it.
But I'm going with 2-1. I think Bruno, captain's goal, shut everybody up. Not that he needs to, but away from home, it'd be brilliant.
Bruno versus Odegaard is going to be crazy.
I'll get on to that.
I would love to compare the heat maps after the game.
I'll get on to that. And I think Rashford's going to score as well. And I do think Saka will put one away. He loves a goal against us. It's so frustrating. And Dalot is going to be off to be on his A game to stop Saka. But so far, the poll is coming in. Keep your votes coming in. I'll read it out in a second when we've got everyone voting on that. Over 10,000 in the room. Make sure you get your votes coming in on that. 3-0 Arsenal. A lot of unconfident people in the chat. But before we wrap it up, we did have our one Arsenal player to watch as well who could be a little bit of a threat. You went with Odegaard. You just spoke then about the Bruno-Odegaard battle. Is he someone that is... But then again, actually, looking at the starting 11, you know, with Partey coming into midfield, it helped Rice. Rice is going to be on his own in there with Havertz and Odegaard. He's going to have a lot to do. So, explain.
The reason why I went with Odegaard is because his output numbers last season was astonishing. And I know, you know, yes, Kevin De Bruyne gave number 1 to Bruno Fernandes, sure. But
because he knows ball.
Sure. But I think Odegaard, being the captain of Arsenal, you know, trying to take them to a title-winning race.
Battle of the captains.
Yeah, battle of the captains. One who's very ice-cold, one who's very hot, and, you know, he'll let you know how he feels. I think a lot of pressure will come onto him to try and keep this team together, because just as much as we're the underdogs, people are almost thinking it's an easy win for Arsenal.
Yeah, I know.
So he has to make sure that he keeps the ball ticking. And like you just said, with the Partey situation, Rice is being left alone. He has to do an extra job because Kai Havertz he hasn't come through yet. He hasn't, you know, arrived, as some people say. So it's down to him to make sure he's able to feed the ball to the right spots for Eddie Nketiah, for Saka, for Martinelli, and also do his defensive duties. And is he going to be able to keep that intensity like Bruno Fernandes does? Because we know Bruno will go... If a football game was for 120, 30, 40 minutes every game, Bruno would give you 100%. Whereas I don't know if Odegaard will be able to keep that same intensity, you know, physicality throughout the 90 minutes. And don't forget, it's not 90, actually, it's probably 110 minutes now.
Well, I've always said I think Odegaard's a brilliant midfielder. Do not get me wrong. I think he's got attributes that are great. But for me, Bruno is just above. Because the reason why, I think he's a better all-rounder. He can do the defensive work. He can get stuck into a tackle. His creativity output is ridiculous. Odegaard's great going forward. He's good interlinking in and around the box. He's creative. He can score a good goal. And don't get me wrong, he's a very high-level midfielder. But for me, Bruno just tops it. You know how I feel about him.
Yeah, Odegaard has still got years to come. He's
Exactly.
only, what, 24, 25?
25.
He's still got years to come, you know, for him to shine through. And Bruno turns 29 in 4 days, something like that.
No way.
Yeah, September 9th. You don't know your captain's birthday?
I didn't know he was 29.
Yeah, he's 29.
I thought he was turning 28. That's annoying.
He's 29. And I have a theory.
I want to win something with Bruno.
I know. Well, you have.
No, but like, I want to win the Prem or the Champions League with him. Time's running out.
You'll cry, won't you?
When Bruno either retires from United or leaves, I will literally cry. I love him so much. He's my dream.
I feel your pain because I was like that with Pogba.
Seriously, my dream is to interview Bruno.
Is it?
That's my dream. If you said to me now you can interview like one player, I would pick Bruno.
What would you do if like I ended up interviewing Bruno and like you were on holiday or something?
I would be very happy for you because
But you wouldn't cancel your holiday and come.
I support my colleagues.
Why are you lying? You would take the next flight back. And
if Ryan called me up and was like, "Look, you can interview Bruno,
but you have to fly back.
But you've got to fly back right now." No matter what location I was in, I would take a 48-hour flight to come back and interview him. I'd let you watch them.
Yeah.
No, but no. That's anyway. United stand as goals.
But I'd do that for Anthony.
Yeah.
I would do that for Anthony. Yeah.
Exactly. And I would let you do it because I know how much you love him.
Yeah.
Privy Rana says, "Is that shoe for sale, Beth? I would like to buy. You'll have to ask admin. He'll give me an answer for
If we lose, blame it on the shoe today.
Yeah.
Blame it on Ryan.
It's our lucky shoe, and it doesn't have a price unless that price is got a few zeros on it, and then I'll steal it for you. But no, it's our lucky shoe, so it doesn't have the price. It doesn't have a price, and we won last game. If we win again, it stays. If not, it goes. So that's a bit of something to stay tuned on the 4 and 4. My player to watch was Saka, just because of obviously the Dallo thing, and I think he's really good. And also, even though I really don't like Arsenal, he's a likeable player, isn't he?
He's so very likeable, of course. He's very likeable, and he's a generational talent player. I used to have a lot of doubts on him a couple of years ago, but now I have absolute no doubts on the level of player he is, and yeah, he's just absolute world class and such a likeable lad. So yeah, Arsenal have some good players, to be fair. But I'm very surprised that Arteta has decided to put his faith in Eddie Nketiah in such a big game, because don't forget, Eddie was looking to move. He was upset that he's not getting the opportunities.
He's a good player. And
then Jesus is here, comes in, and then Kai Havertz is now trying to compete for that central position at times. So yeah, it's a big ballsy move, because if Eddie doesn't finish his chances, then it's a long day. But if he does, then you know the famous song, Eddie Nketiah song, is going to go off.
Well, he scored that last-minute goal against us at the Emirates last time, and we should have at least got a draw out of it. It was so annoying. That Martinez header, by the way, was absolute. It was unreal, especially considering they wanted to sign him.
Yeah.
And you just thought we were going to go on and win that game when he scored that. Obviously, it wasn't meant to be, but this is where we get revenge. And Joy Wrighton says, alas, I think the midfield gets run through again. I think Havertz and Odegaard aren't that... Odegaard's a great player, don't get me wrong, but they're not strong.
But it's Rice that's the workaholic and the workhorse, as someone said.
Casemiro Rice, it's time to put it to the test.
Have you noticed how quick Rice is able to come back to intercept a ball? I was actually very surprised. Like, the engine on him is fantastic. How he's able to just, if the ball is intercepted, he's able to track back, win a ball, and then start an attack again. That is worth a good few million, I'll tell you that. So they'll definitely be expecting him, because I'm guessing we're going to be not playing possession-based football. We're going to try and counter them. So anytime we win the ball back, it's straight counter-attacking football over the top, Rashford in behind. I can just see it.
Well, that's the way it is going to go. Over 11,000 people now in the room with us. Thank you so much. That's the highest for the show. What's the build-up show usually getting? I think it is around that. And plus as well, you've got to remember, don't leave us, but Mark's live on That's Football. So the fact we're pulling in 11,000 as well is brilliant. This build-up show is the one. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm really liking the way that we're moving in the studio. Hopefully United can get the win for us. Over 5,000 votes and counting coming in for the poll. United to win is 54%, and that is what we want. That's the majority at the moment. A draw for 19%, and an Arsenal win is 27%. What do you make of that, of our community there, Faz?
The 27% of Manchester United, I'd say 26.9, because that 0.1% is Zayn Miasi and his crew. But I don't want to look at that, and I don't have that mentality at all. Not against any team in the Premier League. The thing is, you take one game at a time. That's what you do. We've had a terrible window, but ended up getting the player that we really needed, and you just take this game. And Manchester United did miraculous things last season with Weghorst on the pitch, with Fred on the pitch against the likes of Barcelona. I as much as we can have bottlers in our team who put their heads down if things go wrong, we also have players that can step up to the plate. But
we do seem to step up to the plate at home.
I know,
if it was at Old Trafford, I would be so confident.
Sure, that's the important thing, is the away form. Yeah. Improve that away form this season is very important.
We have the best away fans in the league as well.
I don't know. They'll have to sing and shout today.
They will. Ricky will be there. Nash Bash says, you both look great today. Compliment each other well. Great chat and banter. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Nick Cantor says third kit. No, it will be the second kit today, the away kit. So that is the green and white, which I've actually grown very, very fond of. My brother has it, and it's nice. I like it. And Ali Jaber says, how shy Havertz will be today. We'll have to wait and see how his performance goes. He'll be looking to prove something, that's for sure. But based off what I'm seeing, I'm not worried. And Prithi Rana says, £500 for the shoe. Will you sell it? I see one at Mark's studio. You know what? Keep up in the number and we'll get talking.
Yeah.
I can barter all day, but we've got 1 minute left, Faz. Score prediction for you is 2-1. Score prediction for me is 2-1. But if you were Ten Hag now, in the dressing room, what's your final words to the players going out?
Right, boys, Rashi, Bruno, senior players, all of them. You have to fight today. You have to take the game to Arsenal. We are the underdogs. We are expected to lose, but we can play some good effing football. And today, we are going to play some good effing football. You make the saves. If you lose the ball, you work hard for your colleague and you fight. And you not only fight for yourself, you fight for the fans that have travelled, and you show them that what mentality we have, because we are the great Manchester United. And you go and bring the 3 points.
I like it. I would have thought you'd be a bit more animated.
I don't know. It's 5 minutes left for kickoff. I'm just.
You're getting a bit nervous.
It's just a couple of minutes left for kickoff, so I'm a bit.
Nerves creeping in a little bit. Nerves creeping in. You know what? For me, it's like. One thing I want to see, no matter what the result is, of course I want us to get the 3 points, but I want to see a Man United that fights. I want to see passion, hunger. I want to see what we saw last season when we were high-fiving tackles in. I want to see a team that does not stop running, leaves everything out there on the pitch, because start of this season, Forest was good and the way we turned it around was great, but you had the home fans behind you. We've lacked that little bit of togetherness, I think, at some points. Forest, you started to see it creep in, so that is exactly what I want to see today. But everyone, that has been the build-up show. Thank you to everyone for getting your votes in. The final vote of who will win is 54% United. That is majority. Thank you for everyone for getting your super chats in, your comments, joining us. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant turnout for today's build-up for the biggest game of the season so far. It is Arsenal versus Manchester United at the Emirates. Big test for Erik ten Hag, away from home. This has been the build-up show. Faz, thank you.
Thank you
We'll
very
see you
much.
on the forum. On the forum later on will be myself, Faz, Kev and Ginge. And right now, live, make sure you go and join Goldbridge for the watch-along. Come on, United. Let's get the 3 points. I'll see you on the fan forum, but enjoy the game, everyone.